Hello, my lovelies. Well, I'm here and Hubble's here now. Just waiting.
Hello, Anne. Sorry, I'm just running late here. I'm getting sorted here.
Oh, here's Paula now. So we're all here, full house. So what I'm doing, the reason I'm not on camera and I'm using my app is because it's not about me. So it's about you two communicate with each other. So I'm just going to stay here, and if anyone needs, leveling down, I will. I'm doing hand movements here, and I'm not even on camera. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so that's why I've got this Avi up. And what's going to be going on today is literally just going to have a little talk out about things, aren't you?
Yep.
And see if what was the word you used, Paula? It wasn't resolution. What was it? You said something.
Closure.
Closure. That's it. That's the word. So,
Anne, are you going to be asking some questions to?
if it starts, what it is, if it starts getting confusing for the people who are listening in or they need clarification, I'll just jump in and clarify it for it. So, what I'll do is I'll ask first of all, you started off the two, didn't you, were you on friendly terms? And then, well, you were on friendly terms, weren't you? That's obvious. And then something happened where it all went woof and flared up. So if you want to explain to people what was happening or what caused that best still, go right back to the beginning, how you first contacted each other.
Well, that was me. That was me. I got in contact with the Humble Facebook page because when Decca had got in touch with me and I was talking to him, one of the things Decca had said to me was, have you seen all the online hate about me? And I was like, I don't even know who you are. So I Googled and I seen all this stuff. So then I got in touch with Humble Facebook page because I'd seen all their stuff and all the messages from the ladies and such. But the pattern and the consistency and the similarity was it was exactly the same. So I got in touch with them after a couple of weeks of thinking about it because I was like, right, I never went to meet them. I put a stop to that, but some women weren't as fortunate. So I felt it had to be highlighted. And I will say for the Humbles, I don't know who I was talking to, whether it was John or Don at that point. But they wanted me to put my message to go out because, I distinctly remember them saying, we're concerned about your health, your mental health and the impact it could have on you if that goes out online. So I went, fine. Again, then became part of the Humble Drive page. Never commented, I just took a back seat. And I actually did say to John at some points, the people in this group are going to get your channel shut down for what they're doing. Lo and behold, it did. But we still continue to be friends. So for what they gave me was an assurance that I had their support. They were always there. All the other people supporting each other. And I thought this is a really good crowd to be around, to get support and to feel like you are somebody. So I went through there. Then again, all the other hate stuff on YouTube and stuff. Then my messages went up. And that's when I decided to speak up about it. And again, I've never said I'm a victim of Decca. But I did have those messages, and that's basically that's how we met.
So what's your memory on it, John?
And that's basically, that's what I was trying to say last week. It was Paula who contacted us first.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, there was a significant amount. There was a group which I'd written down here. It was called Unknown Justice, popped up. It was a Facebook group called Unknown Justice. Now, I'd been tipped off about this group that was going to be starting, and this group, Unknown Justice, was basically to target every person who was speaking out about Decca Hagee on the Facebook profile under Humble Dryer. They were targeting people. They were getting pictures that one girl, for example, from Scotland, pictures that she'd maybe quite saucy pictures she'd maybe done for a play or some photo shoot. They were producing all these pictures, and at the time, I mean, we're referring to these messages here, Paula, yeah?
Yep. Yes, the one.
Which goes back to 5th of November 2019, if that's correct. At the time, now I call it a blue light. I don't know what you want to refer it to, and as in, when I say a blue light above your house, as it could mean that you maybe be on police protection, you could maybe have a threat to life, you could maybe be in a domestic relationship where you've had to get out of the domestic relationship, and I call it a blue light in your house. I don't know what the proper terms with that would be. Can you correct me on that?
You call it in the police, well, I don't know about Scotland because you have different terminology there, but in the English police, it would be red flagging. A house is red flagged.
Red
where
flag.
there's any danger could be there, yeah.
So, Paula had sent me these messages. I never ever seen the WhatsApp chat. I don't know why was your reason for that, Paula, because I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember. How did you send it in that format again? Can you remember?
I never sent that format. I was just forwarding you stuff like to the WhatsApp or the Messenger, because I remember saying to you, how do I send voice notes? Because I wasn't clueless. I was clueless at that point. But I didn't put them. That's like a kind of computer type screen, but that's maybe how they came through in your phone.
That's how they've got sent to me. Yeah, that's how I received them. Was it because you've took it off your laptop, or was it because?
No, it was my phone. Never had a laptop in here until my daughter got a Chromebook last year.
So have you taken the transcript from that whole message? From that, I'm just confused, and I said that last week. I was still confused how I got this chat log of WhatsApp messages. I'm not trying to have a dig at you, I'm just trying to understand.
No, I just sent you them. I just sent you them from like the Messenger and then the WhatsApp. I can't even remember the phone I had when I sent them. But because I had them still in, I had Decca's chat still in that old phone. So I was able to just send stuff to use.
I mean, you refer to him as Decca Craigie, is that right?
I never put that. That'd have been a typing error, but Decca Hagee.
Aye, right, okay, Decca Hagee, right, okay. This is coming through. So this was the 10th, 30th of the 10th, 2019. Yeah?
Right.
All right, 30th of the 10th, 2019. But you've sent that, I've got them on the 5th of November. So it was maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks or something after that you came in contact with him. Right?
Yeah, because it actually took me 2 weeks to get in touch with these. Because I kept thinking, well, I messaged these people, will it cause an uproar? And then I gave myself 2 weeks, and then I was like, do you know what? And that's when I got in touch with you on the Humble Dryer page on Facebook.
You don't know how that came in that format?
I don't know how it's on my kids' lives. No, I don't. I don't know how that came through. All I done was send from one phone to the other. That was it. Honestly, that was genuinely it. And again, my son had seen all the messages because he was the very one that says, "Mum, don't go and meet him. There's something really creepy about that guy," and I didn't.
Okay. Right, so okay, I can't explain that either then. If you don't
I don't understand that either. It looks like an old-fashioned computer.
I can't see the chat, but is anybody else? It's just so I can get to, if I ever get it again, I can then understand it. Has anybody else ever seen, or did anybody else know how to get this format of messages from one phone to? I'm genuinely asking a question because I don't know how.
It could be anything. It could be just I've had things through and they've come through odd because somehow the computer language isn't receiving it right, so it's taking it as text, but it's not getting it in the right format. But does it matter though? Or what?
No, it doesn't. But it's been very confusing because I thought Paula had said to us on a couple of occasions. She sent me by David. What do you call the David file? You call it?
The David file.
Well, what do you call it? Is it a David format, JSON format, JSON format? Is that not what you told me?
I can't remember saying that. No. I know. All I remember is sending you those messages because those women were putting messages. You're putting the women's messages up, and I was like, similarity, bam, mines are the same. I'm going to let these guys see these messages, and I just sent them to you.
I'm positive it was adjacent. The reason that this matter on because it's caused a lot of arguments because at one point I was saying it was a JSON file and a JSON file doesn't come through on a black screen.
Well, Humble, I'll just say this right. This is what I want to get to because this is just like it's going into. I don't really understand what the issue with it is. People don't understand the issue, so I'm going to ask you directly. Do you think Paula wasn't being honest and she's trying to set you up or something, and that's when she contacted you, and that's why you're suspicious?
To be honest, an JSON file doesn't come through on a black screen, and it's been claimed it was sent on a JSON file. As I say, it's not a big deal, but it's just something that's.
I've only ever used a Samsung phone. I've always had Samsung phones, but that's as far as I know how.
What it is, though, it is a big deal to you because I can tell the way you're talking about it.
Yeah, because if somebody says I thought the next time, man, that I've sent you on a JSON file, and I say, well, it doesn't come through on a black screen when that's what I'm trying to get to the back of.
Hey, Will, put it up again. Put it up again. Mark's just said something here. It could be a HTML file that's come through us. In other words, you're getting how the computer would.
But that wouldn't come through on a phone, would it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm genuinely.
Well, it would do. If it's sent over the internet, it's going to be HTML, isn't it? So it's the computer. It looks like
that's been one thing that's caused quite a lot of arguments. I know it sounds petty, but again, it's.
But again, why would it cause arguments? I mean, what are you suspicious? You have to be honest here. I'm suspicious of Paula?
I was thought. Sorry, my dog's just rumbling about with a plastic thing. I'm going to have to take it off him from the washing machine because it steals it. Here's for your washing up bottle. Yeah, so, okay. Yes, there was a guy called, Paula will remember him. I think his name was Jay Fraser.
I don't know who Jay Fraser is, but is that the gentleman that apparently claims that I said I was in a relationship with you? Because I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah, that's the person, Jay Fraser, who appeared with Fast Eddie Burns, if you remember him.
Oh, I remember. All I paid attention to was the Decca stuff, not so much everything, and then going on defending other people. I'm not as clued up knowledgeable what all yous are, all these names and stuff, honestly.
But this is why we have to keep track of things, Paula, because then if somebody makes up something that's not true about you, we can go back and prove that it was a lie. So I remember the day clearly when you called. In fact, me and Donna were, you spoke to me and Donna and you said, listen, you might not be happy about this, but I've got a reason for doing it. And I agreed with you, like, okay, you done the right thing there, but you maybe should have asked. When you phoned up and said to me, John, I said something to Jay Fraser, and I maybe shouldn't have said it, but I've just told him to calm him down, that I'm Mrs. Humboldt, I'm in a relationship with you. And I said to you, Donna was listening at the time, I said to you, well, I don't know, why was your reason for doing that? And you said, well, it would calm him down, because he's in about Gary and all these guys in the North East, and I don't want him.
Didn't even know Gary for about that point. But you put the video out. What you've done, and the way you put the video out, you've made out as if I was going telling somebody I had a relationship with this guy. That's the way your video portrayed it. No, the detail is the same.
That's right. You did tell Jay Fraser that you were in a relationship with me.
No, I don't understand why I would do that.
Well, at the time, you told him something that you thought you maybe shouldn't have told him. You were scared that he'd run away with it and kind of blew everything up along the lines. I can't remember. He was quite prolific.
That's pretty hard though, because he's never really told me anything. So
this is the same guy.
I didn't have anything to go and.
And it's nice to see John Little popping up here. John Little. Now, I've been accused of being friends with Stu Armstrong for a long time now, right? And I've personally said, Stu Armstrong doesn't like me, and I don't like him. But it's nothing personal. We've never met. It's just, at the end of the day, he's never contributed to anything regarding Humble Dryer or Sammy Lee. Never. He's never badmouthed Sammy Lee to me. It's never went that far in conversation. I wound him up one night. The guy had buried his mate. I didn't know about it. I'm winding him up. He was at a cash point in Asda or something. And he sent me a message and said, fucking blah, blah, blah. I apologised to him 2 or 3 times. And he asked me, I was going to apologise a 4th time. I said, nah, fuck that. Sorry for swearing, man. I don't apologise to anybody 4 times. But I just want to point someone out tonight. So John Little has been very supportive. And here's a screenshot for back in 2019 from John Little, same guy, Sean Armstrong and blah, 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 right? So it's not relevant, right? But it is relevant to the cause because John Little is probably more friends with these guys that's hanged with Sammy Lee than I ever have been.
Yeah,
unless it's a fake.
That's about me and you, John. No, it's about me and you.
Yeah, that's it. It's a.
John. It's just a start, finish. It's a start.
Right, so
middle.
Let's get to the big thing.
But wait a minute, John.
Hand on the Bible, Paula.
Wait a minute, John. Wait. No one's going to be putting their hands on Bibles or anything else. It's not that kind of thing. That's confrontational when you do that to someone. Because you're more or less saying that they're going to tell lies. And so you have to be careful. It just gets people's backs up when you say that. But in fairness to John Rice, he's just come here to show support to Paula. And whether we like someone or not, they do have right to support. And you'll have people who will support you as well. So that's all that is. It's no big deal. But go on, that's what you're going to ask. But this putting your hand on the Bible, swearing and all that. Look, if someone's going to lie, they're going to lie whether they put the hand on a Bible or not.
Well, I just want to make it clear, Anne, that I never made up a lie about Paula calling us and saying that she told Jay Fraser that she was in a relationship with me.
I don't even know who Jay Fraser is.
You
I don't know who Jay Fraser is.
You know, you spoke
I
to
know
him
loads of
personally.
people and I'll say their name, whatever. Jay Fraser,
So
I don't know.
You don't remember Jay Fraser or Fast Eddie?
No, same with this Jamie Boyle. I've only just seen who he is, but it was Donna that sent me a message saying Jamie Boyle was Dark Bot Secrets, and my first thought was, who's Jamie Boyle? I'm not going to deny a name, do a lie. I'm not going to do that.
Could you show me that message where Donna has said that Dark Bot Secrets is Jamie Boyle, please?
That's on the Carla Golden account.
But you've got everything off it. You gave people your passwords and everything. Can somebody back you up for that?
I did. No, well, do you know what? In all fairness, on my part, I wouldn't trust that person as far as I could throw them, because that person went into personal messages in my phone, and she had no God-given damn right to do so. She was messaging my friends as if it was me.
Maria.
I then went to you, and about the Call Burkett account, I sent it to you. And then again, we had that conversation, ask him this, ask him that. That's when Maria took over the whole conversation with him. She dealt with the whole conversation.
Sorry,
then you turned down and
said, Maria's went through some bad.
Do you know what? Yeah, my kid's dad. See my kid's dad. See his son that you're putting messages up 8 years ago. My kid's dad died 5 years this Christmas Eve, right? And I've got 2 kids I've got today. So see using the C word. See that card? It does not allow anybody the right of way to be an arsehole.
Right, I've got lost here. Who's this person you're talking about that you just mentioned?
Maria, it's all coming out about what she went through.
Wait a minute. Which Maria are we talking about?
Maria Howarth.
Well, I say, Well, I'm not saying anything on that one.
Right, can I get something out the road first, Anne, please? Because if you don't mind. So, True Media told me, Paula, that you'd been on a date to somebody new. I'm going to mention his first name, right? But I'm not going to mention the little one's name because I do not want any hatred whatsoever going to the little one. So, True Media told me that you'd been on a date with somebody in Newcastle, okay? Or in that area. We don't need to go to Pacific area. Let's just say Newcastle.
Right, get the point. Mm-hmm.
And you came back and you were disappointed with your weekend in Newcastle, okay? Now let me finish, please. It's then turned that, let's just say that the person that you went to visit in Newcastle was not the boxer Gary Furby that you told another friend. Let me finish, please.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Gary Furby who you went and told the female friend or kidded on to her, okay? But you've had the guy on your show, Anne, doing a thing on autism. Now, I want to ask Paula...
Look, wait a minute. I'm going to cut in here, Humble, right?
Okay.
I don't know why you're talking about this person. It doesn't even bear any relevance. No, let me finish. No, let me finish, right? Wait till me finish, John. This is about you, Anne.
Yeah.
Paul getting on there. I know what you're talking about. This is personal information. You're going to out the person who it is. And, you know, why...
because the guy's very disappointed, Anne.
Well, wait, I don't care if he's disappointed. That's his issue, right? He's a grown man. He's fully grown. If he can fill a pram, he can look after himself. And I'm sure that Paula... doesn't Paul, you know, it's not good enough said, but all that I'm going to say, that's going into personal issues that don't need to be aired here. And also, True Media shouldn't be telling you that. It shouldn't be divulging.
True Media wasn't bad-mouthing Paula.
I don't care. He shouldn't be discussing it. People's parents, this is what I'm saying, John, and this is because I get really passionate about this. People's personal lives are personal, and if they want to tell someone it, they tell them it, but it's personal. And what I don't want is I don't want it being discussed on here because it's nothing Daisy, it's nothing scandalous, it's nothing horrible.
No, it's not.
But what you do, what it sounds like, and going to be on, sounds like you're trying to come up with this or bring this up to say what a horrible, nasty, dubious person Paula is.
No.
She's not doing anything that...
I'm asking you the question because the guy's hot that he really wants to speak on you on that subject, which I don't want to mention the subject.
Well, he can be hurt. I'm sure he'll get over it, but it's not a subject to be discussed. I'm sure he can get over it. I'm sure he's had plenty of experience.
Why did you block the guy, Anne, if he's not, he really wants that project to take off, and I'm feared to touch it. Because
do you know why? Without naming him, John Rice, and this is open, so I'll reply now. I didn't block him. I unfollowed him on YouTube, and it had nothing to do with Paula. I'll tell you what I had to do, because she got the blame straight away. She got the blame for this. Why I unfollowed him on Facebook was because I was setting up these these talks, these autism talks, and sending the link. It'd be all hearts and love and all that. Then he couldn't be bothered turning up. There was one day, Paula, I was on my own, and it was going to be an absolute disaster. He didn't turn up, and Paula was busy that day. And she went right out of her way to come on that show so I wouldn't be on my own, talking on my own. Now, that's why I stopped him, because I thought, if you're going to play silly beggars and make it sound like you're coming on, then you're not going to appear. Guess what? What's the point of us following each other? And that's him wanting to get this project off the ground. I'm sorry, right? When you look at his page, I don't see him doing much. He's trying to get in with other people. He's not doing it himself. But I'll leave it at that, and that's the last I'll say about it, John. So it's not that he's an innocent person in this. He just wasn't pulling his weight and was expecting other people to do it for him. So I'll just say that much on it anyway. So I hope that's explained.
That's fine, yeah. That's good. I just wanted to clear it out that guy wasn't bad-mouthing Paula to me or anything else. If anybody thought that wasn't happening. That was all. That's all was leading up to.
It's just, you know, it is. It's just it's every single person going. It's like sitting at a table and we're all going round and we're all. It's like my name's in the middle and everybody's throwing nice. See, people don't like me, they walk away. Right now, let's just get to the part how we fell out. And I'd blocked you, right?
Okay.
I'd blocked you, and I walked away. Didn't say, didn't do anything. I might have a bitch and moan in the background, like I've always said to people. That's what I'll do. I don't give a monkey. But then you're coming saying that the reason why you've basically trolled me and cyberbullied me, which is my words, and cyberbullying trolling, was because I was slagging off Donna. I wasn't slagging off Donna.
You have, yeah.
She was coming to me as a victim. Eventually I did. Yeah, eventually I did, because I was like, she's taking a mickey out of me.
But last night,
how dare she? So that's me having an opinion, and a right.
Last night you had said to Anne, yeah, that she didn't make out she was a victim. There was many roads you could have, and you admitted that last night.
No, Anne says she didn't believe her because she'd seen the messages.
Right, can I show everybody that message if I can find it? If you don't mind. If you want to get to the back of how we fell out.
Well, because Maria, because I remember Maria Howard messaging me that night and saying, "What if it is really happening?" Because Donna actually sent that to her and says, "What if it is really going on?" For
months, people's been telling me to watch because you are out to destroy a relationship.
I'm on a live, I can't come out. I'm on a live, I'm busy. Mum, kitchen.
You can go to the kids away.
I want to please. Sorry, my neighbours.
So, for months I've been told to watch, right? When I told you, you remember when different Maria came on scene?
Yep.
And you said that they were all ganging up and bullying you and all the rest of it. Now, Maria B told you as a victim, right, that she didn't like the way that you were pronouncing things as in being an alleged victim of whatever, yeah? Maria B put up a good statement. She made a video. Yeah, is that right? Now, you didn't like the way Maria B had worded these things in the video.
No, what happened was, the reason why I started to dislike her and have a different opinion over her, not dislike her at the start, was because she was putting up how she was a victim and such, and you know, she's went through all that stuff, and I would never ever call him a liar. But when somebody's coming across like that and people say I'm unapproachable and I'm loud, that woman was coming across as if she was the only person that's ever been a victim or ever suffered stuff.
No, she
wasn't. And the majority of her stuff is based on her inner looks. And like I've always stated, the people I work with and the people I help, they get body shamed all the time. They'll get put down, especially putting videos up, showing a bit of skin, getting body shamed, right? And I asked you, and I asked another friend, is that somebody you would want sitting at a reception desk if you, God forgive, had to take one of your children to a rape crisis centre? And you all went, certainly not. And I went, that is my point. Yes, I was bitchy and I put a video up. Again, that was just my attitude at that point. And then she started full melt on me. Karma Corner get involved, Paul Ellis get involved, other channels get involved. That's when I came to you, because I was like, who the hell standing up for me here? Nobody. So yous are all meant to be my friends. Yous are allowing these people to make me look an arsehole.
Sorry, my dog's was barking there. Basically, you just said it there, right? Remember when you sent me that video, I said, Paula, do you even know if this person is real? Anybody could go and get a video of somebody doing line dancing, yeah? And you said, yeah, and you sent me a picture where, now, at the end of the day, she looked in the
but you did say you were just be careful, you were like to me, be careful and things like that. What
yeah, how do you know it's even real? That's what I said to you, didn't I? And I made a video, I said to the guys, listen, yous are worse than women egging this fight on between two girls, yeah? And then I said to you, just take it back. Just sit out it, it'll go away, remember?
No, you actually said in the video something about apologising to her, because I've actually got a message for Donna, or a voice note to Carla she said she could have fucking hit me for saying that.
What everybody knows and everybody's seen, and that'll make it easier. Everybody's seen what I'm talking about and what you're talking about here. I don't want to, I don't want to start digging messages out. The ones the other day there, where you and Sammy want to meet Donna and squash her and all the rest of it, and you tell Sammy
squash her? No squash her. No, I don't think squash her. Squash her? Why do I like squash her?
See, this is it. Really, sometimes Sometimes
See, I see the thing. It's like everybody comments on posts, but it's always mine that gets highlighted. What was that? Fighting I'd love to squash Donna. Right, that getting as a cute guy. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
So, right, so I'm not lying now, am I? I've no
Never,
reason
I
to
never
lie.
said you were lying.
You
I
were
did the
just
same
saying
thing.
there saying that I'm lying.
Let's jump in
I
here,
never did
right?
squash her.
Well,
I didn't do squash her.
wait a minute. But just let's jump in here, right? Because it's going to go on off the rails again.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to ask, right, is, which I don't understand, what was it, Paula, made you and Donna first fall out? Who fell out with who, and what was the point that you fell out? What caused it? Because I think that needs clarification.
Yeah, and I seem to have been the last person to have noticed it. I looked at Paula like a sister, yeah, no attractive as in romance or anything like a sister, where she fucking, sorry for swearing, she would do my head in some days, you know, like, well, stop calling guys the K word and they'll stop attacking you, and back and forth. It was like, and then it was, I'm getting like 5, 6, I get anxiety, and it's like you open Messenger and there's 30 odd messages. I hate it. I hate even opening them, because I hate somebody seeing me online and then I'm thinking I'm ignorant. So I was like leaving it 4 or 5 days and then opening them, and I've got messages. I'm drinking every night, I've upped my medication. I'm saying, well, Paula, just stay off the internet. Don't go calling these guys cunts and all the rest of it, and they'll stop attacking you.
Oh, don't say that word, please. That goes through me.
I said it with a K.
Be careful.
I said it with a K, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I said it with a K. And I said, Ken, that'll help you. Maybe if you do that. But I seem to have been the last person to notice. Somebody said, watch, because at the end of the day, how many guys have you fell out with over Paula? And I was like, well, a couple. How many? And so I started counting up, and I went, quite a lot, actually. And why?
No, but you don't go against somebody or fall out with somebody unless you've been proof. I've obviously given you proof for you to have an issue with him.
I don't need that in my life.
What I can't work out, right, that's not more or less answering the question. We need to know, what was it, Paula, that made you and Donna fall out? What was the point you thought? I mean, Donna's not here to say, but what was the point where you and Donna went from friends?
I'm interested in knowing this, actually.
After I had blocked her, after I'd blocked him, and then the video went up about me. He put the first one up, and I had got in touch with her. Never answered me all day. Now, bearing in mind, for about 6 months, give or take, she'd been messaging me claiming that she was in an abusive relationship.
No, wait. We'll get back to this. What was it?
I've been asked a question and I'm going to answer it. So if you don't mind, okay?
But remember what you said last night, though.
No, let her finish it.
Okay.
Just you sit and do that while I'm talking. So yeah. Then Donna's messaged me saying, "Oh, she just came back from Glasgow. She's been in Glasgow all day with her son, and she just came back to all these messages." And straight away I went, "You're Donna Humble, and you've not had a point of contact with her? Nah, sorry. You're in Glasgow, but you know where I live. You've claimed to me that, oh, we're good friends, and she's come to me with all these issues, but she's not took an opportunity to meet me or something. But she's had to later on that night, even though she was tagged on Facebook with it." And then she sent me a voice note saying, "Can I ever actually listen to him the next day?" Because Maria Howarth listened to him first. And she was stating, "Oh, apparently there's a fake account going about of me in my name, like Carla Golden." And that's when I went, "Do you know what?" And I wasn't polite in what I said. I was like, "They can f off. Nah, this is definite. That was what's confirmed for me. I was being well and truly played."
Just a bit like this fake account that was kicking about.
Again, ask Maria into my messenger,
no,
and
stop,
she
please stop
took over that.
No,
See, somebody sent messages, and I've come to you, and I'm being loyal and honest and saying, "Look, I'm getting this," and then you always say, "Oh, just ignore it. It's fake. Brush it off." But then you're like, "No, send me voice notes, ask him this and ask him that." It was Maria Howarth that took over it, because she then got in touch with the real Colin Burkett.
Could you tell
Nothing
Anne,
to do with
please,
me.
could you, Paula, sorry for interrupting, could you please tell Anne what date it was that you got the message from Donna? In April.
I've not got my phone, but...
Right, I'll be right in saying the 7th of April, yeah?
What is the date's got to do with it? It was about the same time you put a video up. You decided to put a video up slagging me off.
So the 7th, this is me on the 9th of April now, right?
Right. So you're going to
That's
go to when I actually got the messages, is that what it is?
So this is 2 days after you thought that Donna could be getting knocked about with me, correct?
2 days. She was telling me
2
for
days
6 months.
afterwards, the 7th of April.
Telling me for 6 months.
Donna,
And she wouldn't just, by the way, she wouldn't just send them to me. She was sending the messages to True Media as well, telling him the same.
no, the 7th
So-
of April wasn't.
They can't all be lying.
No, on the 7th of April she wasn't. It was me that was speaking to True Media then, no Donna. Anyway, we'll move on from
I'm
there.
talking for the start
So-
of the year about the
Right.
messages Donna was sending, portraying herself as a victim. Donna was that. This is the whole point of this. This is why we
No, it's
fell
not-
out,
it's not
because
the
at
whole
first
point
you
of
were
it.
saying it's a fake account. You said it's a fake account.
It's about me
She
proving
said
to
somebody
you
said
you're
a
out
fake
to
account
split
and me.
relationships up, Paula. That's what I'm out to prove. You're out to split relationships up, and you've been
How
doing
bad
it for
is
3
split
years.
relationship? I walked away from you because you were
You
pretending
never
to be.
walked away from me,
I walked
Paula,
away.
because here it's here. On the 9th of April,
Oh my God,
you,
but that-
after I ignored you for a week, yeah? You, after I ignored you for a week, yeah? You then decided, because I never answered your
You don't need to show me all that because I've still got it on my
walked
phone.
away on the 26th of April, Paula. That's no a couple of days after it. That's nearly a bloody month.
When did you put the video, the first video up about me?
When? I don't know. I need to look back on YouTube.
That's roughly the same
where was
time.
I lying in that video? You gave people your password to go in and view messages that you deleted from donors. Didn't you? You deleted messages
And then see
before
what she
you
said,
gave your
and I put the
password
message,
away.
and she would say to me, what did you delete? And I was like, oh, just having a rant. I was having a rant.
Just having a rant. I recorded them.
How
We
did you record
them
it?
because at the end of
What
the
is
day,
it
Paula,
stuff? If I don't,
knew you
what's
were
the
going-
point
wait a
on
minute.
the voice note?
Just let's jump in. Calm down. I'm ringing the bell. Right, because it's getting now. I'm getting lost again, and I don't know
Well,
what
so
anyone else is. I'm getting totally lost now. What I want to, because this seems to be a big issue.
Yeah.
If you could clarify it, John, what is it that makes you say that Paula was trying to split up your relationship with Donna? What happened? What was said? And did Paula say it? Or
Because Donna had to remind Paula that it was Donna was in a relationship with me. Didn't she, Paula?
No, that's what you get mixed up. Maria Howarth, that's the ones, because when Dawn had sent me in the Carla Golden account, all the YouTube slides can have them. I'm sick of Bentley's attention.
How do you know
He
you were
showers
talking
and
to
shaves.
Donna
He
then?
showers and shaves
How
before
do
he
you know
goes
you were
on a
talking to
live.
Donna then?
Um,
How
it
do
was
you know you
Maria
were talking to
Howarth.
Donna?
And that's why Maria Howarth then got in touch with you, is because I sent Maria Howarth the voice notes, and it was
Paula,
all lies,
Can
lies,
you
lies,
answer
lies.
something, please? Honestly, who? And I've never made a secret of this. Who shares whose Facebook and for what reason?
Okay, I'll repeat myself. I gave her the password to prove, because Maria Howarth said to me, but that could be screenshots you're
I'm
sending
talking
me.
about myself here, sorry. Myself,
I never said you
my
shared. I never said you
Facebook
shared
is
it. I've
shared
never
with
said you.
Donna,
You shared
and
the Humble
Donna's is
Dryer
shared with
Facebook.
me. Why?
You
Why
shared-
did I do that? I protect myself. So if somebody's saying, "Oh, he's messaging a 14-year-old girl," my Facebook is shared with Donna, and Donna shares mine. We can't get caught out. I've never so much as sent you a kiss in 3 years, unless you were in a really bad. I don't put a kiss at the end of my sentences. I don't do anything.
What's that got to do with it? I didn't
Because
have
I
a
don't like to
license
lead
like
people
that.
on, Paula, that it's something that's not there.
I'm sorry,
You went
see-
absolutely berserk. Let me finish, please.
No.
You went mad, and I don't want to play these voice notes here, right? Because I don't want to embarrass you. This is not about this, right? You went berserk at me for
Why
video
fucking stop?
calling
You're on a
Maria
roll.
Howarth. You went berserk with me. Because you'd never had a video call off me in 3 years. You went berserk.
I went berserk.
You went berserk,
No.
and I don't want to play
I
this
think the
to
fact
prove
I was
you're
trying to
lying
avoid
again.
you
I
and get
really
pissed.
don't.
But again, see what you've got on your phone, and that's me being pissed off and I've opinionated about people. I'm not denying that.
Ain't I
You
glad
see,
that I've
something
got
hats
my
me off.
phone?
It's never a one-way conversation.
Wait, Paula, come on. Get it down
Paula,
on level, because
Paula,
it's getting
I'm
into
so
shouting
glad that
level.
I keep stuff in my phone. Imagine where I would be right now if I wiped everything every night. Where would I be? I'd have no chance arguing with just
Why
any
do you
girl.
argue
I'd
people?
have no chance arguing with them.
Why did you argue? Why don't you just walk away from me? I wasn't putting stuff up online. I wasn't targeting you or highlighting you.
I tried to tell Donna to say I was knocking F at her so that you would think
Answer
I was
my
a nasty
question.
piece of
Answer
shit and move
why?
away, and
Why
you
did
still never meant.
you're the one that's having putting stuff up about me and bringing this to light? No, me. I walked
Can I
away.
win with you, Paula?
No,
I
you
need
no
to back
answer
things
me.
up in case of situations like this. And all I can be grateful is to Anne.
Joe, I'm sitting
we've
without
had
a phone in my hand because
many fallouts between Anne, yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm grateful being on this platform tonight, proving you a liar.
do you know what? I would never turn around and say to anybody, oh, I feel like this person, that person because of you, because that's your choice and that's your actions and the attitude you've took towards that person. I'm sorry. No way have I put to you that, oh my God, these have been so bad to me. I'll be fucking pissed off and I'll have a rant and a rave. So what? Move on. Get over it. You're bringing up stuff about my kid's family.
Necessary facts.
See what?
Don't
See
make
this?
me play, mate, Paula, please don't make me play them, right? Because it's just got to make you look terrible. I don't want to do it.
Here we are, John, right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's put this way, if you play them, it's
I'm
not
playing
good.
them. I'm not playing
I know,
them,
but
again,
what
I
I'm
would
saying,
have to do that to prove myself
we've got,
right here.
but the thing is, right, I find this about you as a person. You've just said before that, which I didn't know, you have anxiety, right? You have anxiety problems and issues. And that explains a lot that you get. But, you know, sometimes, and you have to, I've been through a life where I've had this constantly, right? If people want to not believe you or think bad of you, they will do. And there's absolutely nothing you can ever do to change that. And all that you can do is say, all right, the things that have been said about me, not just on YouTube, but especially when I worked for the police, horrific things were said about me. And I used to say, well, you want to think that, that's okay. I'm glad I'm so interested. But sometimes you just got to say, well, that happened, you know, just let it go. You say that Paula sent you abusive messages. No one say that she didn't send you abusive messages, but you just have to, so you just have to
abusive,
put it there. But what I want to discuss now, because I think it's important, is this issue over the allegations that's been going around that you were beating up Donna.
Yeah, I'd like to get to that, please, Anne. Yeah.
Now, one thing I said it last night in the live. I asked Paula, and this I can promise you, Paula wasn't sending me all stuff saying, "Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this about the humble?" She wasn't when we were talking. She just didn't send things through. But we were planning to have something like this on, and Paula, you went. What's his name again? I keep on forgetting that channel's name. Cesspit. You went on the Cesspit. So I cancelled the show that we were supposed to have on here.
That's right, yeah.
Which we were supposed to be doing this. So, but before that, I knew I'd have to cancel. I said, Paul said, you'll have to send me these recordings because I don't know whether you, basically because I didn't know whether Paula was telling the truth or not. I thought, do they exist? Now, what happened? Yeah, but that's but what happened? Let's keep
antagonized by Paula.
But what you're doing is you're cutting across me now what I'm saying, and we'll grow tentacles and go into all kinds of places. Now, when I heard those recordings of Donna, very straight away, because I'm used to being around actors when I was dancing, we all mixed together and all this. And I thought, she sounds like she's this a load of poo-poo here. She's saying this. She's doing this to cause or get some effect or something. It's not true what she's saying. Now, I'll clarify. She never said you were physically violent to you. She said you were abusive towards her. And it's just that I could tell in parts of it, I thought, no, she's doing this for a purpose. I don't believe what she's saying. But why did you decide to do that? What did you hope to gain from putting it out there, or Donna hope to gain from saying?
Well, okay, and so the exact message that we're referring to here, it said newsflash, and this was Donna sending it to Paula. It said I've got it there somewhere, right? But I don't want to hunt for it. I can if you need to see it. It said newsflash. I don't know what lady that was referring to, but it said, newsflash, if she thinks John is going to protect her, think again. Ask him what happened to his hand. That wasn't by fighting a man. That was all. That was what was said.
Yeah, because she was having a bitch. That was the message. She was having a bitch about Maria Howarth, saying if she thinks that fucking John's going to protect her, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
You're getting me confused with Maria. It was
but again, you're
McDonough,
bringing Maria into this conversation all night, and
not
I've
me.
not Maria once. I think
No, I
Maria's
will
having a hard
continue
time
because
just now.
she's breached her position.
Yeah, Paula, you don't realise it, but you are bullying Maria at every opportunity you can get.
And how am I doing that?
Well, just look back in the stuff that you're saying.
All right, so see when she's messaging, calling me a pissed up Scottish bird.
Well, it's the
really?
same as you think I drink whiskey every night. I've only
you throw a hook out at me.
In fact,
I'll
I've
bite
got a
it.
cupboard full of alcohol, Paula.
I don't care if you're deflecting from what we're talking about.
Hey, well,
keep
wait a
getting
minute.
about.
Just let's get on to this, because Maria's in the chat, right? And someone said
Maria's had a hard time.
Let's go. Wait a minute, right? This is what I'm going to say, right? I don't have anything to do with Maria. I don't trust her, and I'm being honest here. I don't trust her one bit, because I've seen too much of what she gets up to and who she's involved with, and you never know whether she's up to some new roles enough, so you can't trust people who are going around pretend to be friends with one person, then suddenly you find out that they were doing it for a purpose to try and out something about them or something. So you start thinking to yourself, well, why are they friendly with me? Are they trying to see if they can get something out of me? So
which a lot of people do on YouTube. I agree with you, and 100%. They try and
let's finish it. Let's finish it, John. No, I know that, but what I'm saying is just to clarify to people, that's why Maria will not be on here, because quite simply, Anna, she can say what she wants in the chat, but I'm sorry, Humble, I don't trust her. I really don't trust her. Okay,
that's fine. I mean, I appreciate you saying what you're speaking your mind, but I think Maria, and I'm not belittling her in any way, tries to help everybody, and she gets shit on at every opportunity, because it is a horrible place. We're not denying that. People, you don't know if people's being serious, and it's a bit like you. I will say it all the time. The amount of fallouts I've had with Anne, but some of the stuff, and I'm not going to mention his name, Donna can see why you get frustrated, Anne, with some of the stuff, your work, some of the stuff that you've not put out, that we look at, you're spot on, you're on key with it, and we can see why you get frustrated. But again, the numbers are very low. Nobody's interested in it because you're trying to educate people. We totally get why you're frustrated with a lot of things. It's some of the stuff. Certain characters, we're not mentioning them. You know who I'm talking about.
Well, it's not being frustrated. I'm well past trying to talk about police corruption and police cover-ups. I'm well past that, because as you say, the numbers are very low. People don't care, and this is why I say, I don't know why people try to use a child. I won't say the word because you can get hammered on YouTube by the algorithm. You know what happens to children by certain people.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, and I learned this a long, long time ago, because this channel started off me discussing all this. And I remember, I'll just to show you how difficult now people really don't want to know. I was going on about niche. If anyone wants to expose cover-ups and expose police covering up for these people, all that you need to do is open niche. But the Home Office, no one will ever open niche because they know it's Pandora's box. And within a few minutes, you could have a list of everyone's name that the police are suspecting. And what you'll look out for is no further action to be taken. And that's when you know, cover up.
Yeah.
I put that out 3 times, and the most I ever got was 500 views. And yet these people, John and Paula, were going on, children being... That's why I gave up on this thing of all this, on Twitter and all that going on about, fighting for rights, and we must out these VIPs and all this. I said, do you know what? I said, you're all just so single-focused on one area. I said, you're not looking at saving children now. And they were talking as if it was happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago,
It's
40
happening right
years
now.
ago. I said, it's happening now. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed. And do you know what well, to get this for how disgusting this is, and this one I thought, I don't want to know. One of these big campaigners who's actually hit the deck because of association with a certain person, she turned, I said to her, I said, well, what about now? And she turned around and said, oh, we can get to them later. So I said, well, that's no different from someone saying, right, an adult coming up to you and saying, 40 years ago, I was abused in a care home. And an 8-year-old child standing the other side of you and tugging at you and saying, I'm being abused now. And you turn around to that 8-year-old kid and say, oh, go away, we'll deal with this man first. And it's like, no, you deal with the child first, then you deal with the adults, because the adult's not in danger anymore. The child is in danger as they're standing there. And that's when I thought, what's the point? And it's a horrible feeling, because you think, what is the point? And it was such a message, but people say they're interested. Nobody get all these accounts and you get them all going on about. That's why I kicked off on motorsports buggies. That's why I've kicked on others when they say we're doing this for children and womans, whatever that is. You know,
Womans.
no, they're
womans.
not.
It's womans.
But they're not doing it for that. They're doing it to get noticed and to, oh, look, I'm cool. I'm thinking about the put. They're not thinking about it. Very few people are actually doing it for the right reasons for the children, the safety of the children. They're doing it for them. And that's, but I just thought I'd explain that to people. That's what I do get frustrated about.
It. And I done a video the other night there where I covered up the name and address, obviously, of a spotlessly clean enhanced DBS, so clean they could adopt a child with it. Also put up his charge sheets, his convictions of Class A drugs, stealing a car, drink driving, not a mention on his enhanced DBS. Nobody took notice. It's just the world we're in. And it's frustrating.
But the important thing is, John, that you have to realise when people aren't going to listen, they're not going to listen. And all that you've got to do is hope that in time, and I'm a great believer, time outs the truth itself. And you've got people, you hear they've waited 40 years for the truth to come out. And suddenly when time is ready to reveal it, the truth always comes out. Sadly, it usually comes out at a time when justice can't be sought. But anyway, that's enough about that. Yeah. We'll get back onto you and Paula. So Paula, what issues do you want to address next? Wait a minute. We didn't actually get the reason why Donna made that allegation, or why you came up with that allegation.
I think that was for me to say, because as I said, for months people's been saying, and no Donna, other people has been saying, John, watch her. Paul, I just want you to listen a minute, right? This is what I've been getting. As I say, I never seen you as an attractive girl that I'd like to date. I seen you like a sister who nipped my fucking head some days, and sorry for swearing, and some days you're alright, some days you nip my head. But I am not lying about you saying you were in a relationship with me to Jay Fraser. You know I'm not, but that's finished, right? Doesn't matter, okay? So I said, is everybody wrong? Everybody can't be wrong here. So I said to Donna one night, I said, do you think Paula would like to split us up? She went, you know what, I don't know. I said, well, tell you what, tell her I'm knocking the F out you. She went, I can't say that. I said, well, say something that makes me not a nice person. And that's what she gets sent. Now, when I went on the cesspit, I made myself look worse than I ever was. I made myself look worse. And I'm sorry for playing that game. But I knew, Paula, you would run away with it. And the Saturday night, I had no intention of ever getting on. And at the end of the day, you come out with a load of hatred and all the rest of it. But that's by the by.
But again, John, right, this is the lesson from this. I'm sorry. When you put stuff out there and you play games like this, and this is what I've said about, and said about you in the past, I said about other people. When you try to control a narrative, if it goes wrong spectacularly, and you can't get rid of it, because anyone that doesn't like you will say, oh, you're saying that now, but the truth is you really did beat her up and all this. That's what you'll get, and you've got to live with that. And all that you can do is stop playing those games. Look, a narrative is no good. The truth will arrange itself, and you see it on YouTube. Look, people are being called out you see it happening within weeks. People who were considered great, wonderful, and everyone was kissing up to them. Suddenly it turns right around.
Yeah,
and
it's typical media, isn't it? They'll pick you up and drop you off.
Well, people like, what's his name? The House of Pain. He's a great one. Yeah, he's a great one for getting in there and actually confronting these people and saying, no, you're absolutely false. You're talking rubbish, you're this, that, and the other. That happens. But when you put it out there, John, you can't complain if it grows legs.
I need to take responsibility for some of the
things. If Paula put that out there, right? If Paula did put out there, I don't know, you'll have to clarify whether you did, Paula, or not put it out there, but if Paula did, right, she's got a right to do that. Why should she keep quiet about a situation that she'd see?
But this is the thing. She did keep quiet about it until I was convinced, yeah, you know what? I must be the only person with the blinkers on here, because I started counting up how many guys that I've called a creep and a beast and all the rest of it on the word of Paula. I had quite a few guys over the years that I've just brushed off for sending, let's say, somebody sent a personal picture to Paula and vice versa. Now, I've counted up how many guys over the years that I've just blanked because I thought they were a creep on the advice of Paula. Am I right, Paula?
There's only two males that have sent me rude pictures, and one of them was Decca, and the other one was you mentioned. And do you know what? The other night, do you know why I spoke to people about it? Because he was portraying himself as being single.
But
when I went on his profile and seen his love life, just like his fighting career, crap.
You did make yourself out a victim of Decca.
I did not say I was how can I make myself out as a victim if I didn't go and meet that guy?
Because you claimed on
there was potential there if I had went and meet him, because it was you that told me, you yourself told me that 2 weeks prior he was in a hotel with Lassie.
Paula.
And I was like, thank what he'd done to apparently, allegedly, because I don't know, I wasn't there. And I said to you, thank God I never went there. I've never said I'm a victim of Decca. Never. I'm a victim in other senses, which is no your business to talk about. My business.
Know what you're a victim of, Paula, sometimes, which a lot of people can be, stupidity. In other words, you don't think before you go through with it. But in fairness to Paula,
I hate my myth. I hate it.
But
I never want things back. I cringe at myself.
But the thing is, right, John,
sorry, I'm listening on.
The thing is with this situation is, you know, things get heated, things blow up, and people go out there, and everyone does it. Everyone's out and everyone else on YouTube and going on about things. But if I remember rightly, from day one, Paula kept on stressing on, especially on the honest truth, kept on stressing she wasn't a victim. What she was doing, she was, correct me if I'm wrong, Paula, you was trying to speak up so that people would understand that when victims were talking out, you could recognize that they were telling the truth, because the same thing said to you.
And also the fact was, I fortunately never went to meet him, but some others were unfortunate and did get put in a position with him that wasn't very comfortable, and something that probably haunt them for the rest of their lives.
But Paula, would you agree that you have got a tendency to kind of lead people down that they kind of maybe...
If somebody's talking, like you said, about personal chat,
I would call it, maybe call it a C-O-C-K teaser in Scotland.
A what?
Would you not? I'm not saying the word, but a bit of a teaser, to say the least.
No.
The guys, no? Well, would you tell Anne what you first sent me when you first started speaking to me?
The picture of my Snapchat?
No, it wasn't a picture. It was three videos. It was three videos.
My Snapchat filter. So what? I was clothed. I wasn't trying to pick you like I'm dancing and doing a striptease, and I'm going.
You were in the bath.
And I was sitting in an empty bath with my towel on. What's your point?
With water.
No, there were
3 videos of a Snapchat face with a big head, and the wee. You don't remember that?
Did you see anything? Did you see anything?
I didn't look. But why would you say
you cannot? Do you know something?
Oh, come on, John. Yeah, I'm not going to. Wait a minute, Paula, calm down. I'm not letting you get away with that. You didn't.
No, it's disgusting.
Don't know whether you know it right, but if Paula was in a bath, right?
Yeah.
You
Free
couldn't
video
miss.
shoot of her in a bath.
Let's put it this way: you couldn't miss what she has, right? Could you, Paula? You couldn't miss what you have. I mean, the IMAX 3D.
But Anne, she just said she just sent 3 pictures of clothes in a bath. She was in a clothes. I've just said, no, you were naked. You were in a bath.
I was naked in a bath.
Well, where else gets into a bath with bloody clothes on?
But I came out the shower and I put a towel on me. Why are you even talking about this?
You were in a bath full of water.
Listen, we've got the Justy. I've not sent a red video to you or nothing like that. I tell you something. We Hawkeye at the corner of you, trust me, she's like a leech.
See, there you go. You're a bullying little swine.
No, I'm being honest.
Donna hasn't said one word about you on the internet to date. Not
Really?
one.
Really? She's allowed you to do it. She's a shite bag and she's allowed you to do it.
Poison.
No, if she's all good with that, why is she not coming on and arguing with me herself? No, because she's sitting doing that.
Donna will come on
And you're getting
and
aggressive
something
with me.
you
Why are you getting
have not
aggressive?
got the thinking
Why are you
skills
getting aggressive?
or the credibility to ever be in a live with Anne. But Donna will be on a live with Anne something that you will never be anywhere near it. You've not got the credentials. You've not got the thinking skills. You've not got the ability to speak properly without poison pouring out you.
But
And I think I've got to leave it at that note before I say something I regret.
What I wanted to
get in
Paula, just hold back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mute the two just for a second because I want to say this and not have either of you jumping in over me. Right, I can see you getting wound up. I can see you getting upset, and this is where the dynamic has to change, because the whole point of this isn't that you're going to walk away liking each other, being friends with each other. It's just to walk away and say, that's set aside. But what it is, it's coming up as, you can tell the two, you can tell it will never be resolved anyway. But when it's like, you know, you're a slut, you're this, you're that, you're a slut, you're a wife beater and all this business. You're not going to get anywhere with it. If Paula did that, she's done it. That's the past. It's in the past. If you did something, you've done it. That's it. It's in the past. Now, the reason you want to walk away is because it's getting to you, it's getting emotional to you, and you're getting really wound up by it. So what I'd say now is just, instead of arguing over what did this happened, that happened, where are you going to go from here? Because I know you say you're going to close down your channel. Well, how serious are you on that? Or is that just a coping mechanism at the moment to try and deal with the frustration you're feeling?
That's me back on. My channel, I have got personal things. I've got houses to sell. I've got houses to buy. I've got a lot of personal shit that I've been hanging off. I had a couple of deaths in the family last year. One being my grandmother, who was like a mother, brought me up, and my uncle, who was like my best friend. So in amongst all that, I just locked myself away and concentrated. While everybody else was complaining about mental health, I never showed anything. Any weakness at all. Never show any weakness.
Nobody complains about mental health. Nobody complains. It's something that is in people.
You let me finish, Paula, please. So my channel, and I'm going to leave the good stuff up, the productive stuff, the stuff that I'm taking all the nonsense off it, and that'll be staying. I might monetize it and have it directly paid into some women's gets the women's place in Carlisle that's dealt with a lot of things. I maybe just have it directed from there to there. I hope not to be in this country in 6 months' time. There we go.
So now what that sounds like to me is that you're trying to get away from the situation or leave the past behind you, which is a good thing.
No, it's stuff that I've been putting off for about a year on. When I lost my grandmother and we decided we'd sell a couple of the shares I've got in houses, we were going to keep them in that. And every time I drive by the place, it's just like shit. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to sell that, take my share of that, and just, you know what, there's better than this, isn't there?
But you see, do you know what the pity is, John, that you didn't talk about mental health issues sooner, because then maybe I would have understood a hell of a lot more of frustration you got. I would have, because the annoying thing is you can be, when you do out someone or chant someone. Sometimes you can be really, really good with it. Like, we won't name his name, a certain person that we both can't stand, that people need to keep well away from. Very dangerous man. Him. So you've done that. You've done it with other people. But then, to me, what happens is that you just get this urge that you obviously hold your integrity. You see your integrity as being paramount. And if you feel it's being attacked, you'll really go into overdrive about it. And what can happen then is that it can sort of, it can make you look like...
I know. I'm not. Listen, I'm not a good person. I'm a fucking idiot. But at the end of the day, if I'm right with something, I will dig my heels in. As you know, 3 years later, that's what it is, and that's me as a person. And anybody that I've got their backs, as in real life, knows that I've got their back, 100%. People don't scare me, and I've no fear in my body for any of these people that we both don't like. None at all. I mean,
I know you
have to keep in there, but I'd like to date them.
I'll just answer this to Gemma. Is Anne a bloke or a woman? Says the question. Genetically male, more male than female. Much, much more male than female. And I've never claimed to be a woman. So, intersex, Gemma, if you want to Google that, intersex, and you'll find out. But I'm about 75% male, 25% female. So, genetically, I'm a male.
And I fell into the bandwagon of bullying Anne in the past. I'll put my hands up to that, because again, Anne was getting told stuff that I knew it wasn't true, and rather than speaking to Anne, I just jumped on the bandwagon of so I'll hold my hands up to that, Anne, and I apologise.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. Communication is paramount, isn't it? All can make that mistake, and because at the end of the day, I do like you, John. That's it. But sometimes I got so frustrated, because when you live a life where you've faced hate, and you can face hate a lot, not when I was growing up, funny enough. It wasn't until I actually came on social media, I didn't know what hate was. Well, actually, the Merseyside police then I realised what hate was. But that was the first time. But you get frustrated, and I've learned to calm down on this now. But when I see people befriending and being friendly with people I know are coming out with the most horrendous hate speech, that really gets them back up. Now, if I didn't like you, I would have turned around and said, I'll get on with it. But when you're emotionally attached in that way, you will argue with someone and have arguments. But again, that's in the past, and I'm hoping somehow you and Paula can do this. I think Paula's more receptive to putting it in the past, aren't you, Paula? That's the feeling I'm getting at the moment. Yeah. But if you could reach towards that, John, in any way, it would make you...
Well, the only thing I'll do, Anne, right, but this is where Paula will not stick to her end of the bargain. We'll remove her videos, and I'll just stop speaking about her. But Paula forgets what account she tells me she's on until I remind her. Now, Paula...
No, I'm pretty sure when I go on my own phone, I know what account I'm on.
You as somebody who you've just met for the first time, whatever medication you're upping by your doctor is not help with alcohol. Trust me, I've took every dose in this world.
That's why I stopped. Jimmy McCrory's been giving me good sound advice, and I've stopped.
I have stopped. It's not me. It's.
What I'm saying is, I went and sought help for it. I went and sought help
to come forward, and all the rest of it, right? None of us, and I'll get accused of this. None of us is qualified for it. None of us is qualified to bring victims in here, and if somebody just went a bit of moral support, that's fine. But none of us is qualified. And if I'd known what I known 3 years ago, this all happened this was accidental. I slagged Decker because he was being rude to me and blocked me, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call, and then all of it rolled into what's happening. The next thing I've got coppers standing in this fucking house here telling me the destruction, and I'm like, if I could turn the hands back 3 years, I would have never went onto Facebook and looked up mental health, because that's the reason I'm here right now, is because I went onto Facebook, rather than going to ask professionals, I put mental health into Facebook search because somebody close to me was self-harming, and I was at a loose end. I didn't know how to deal with it. And the rest is history. Here we are here right now. If I could rewind that back, I'd have took that person to professional, which ended up happening anyway. I would have never put into a Facebook search or a YouTube video. And that's not for anybody that's fighting addiction. That's not me belittling them, but we're not educated on these platforms to be giving anybody advice on how to be clean.
No, I'd actually agree with you on that one.
And that's how I'm here, free here today, by putting mental health into a Facebook search. The rest is history.
Well, it should be more a case of focusing on mental health, and like I'm saying, it's like, I know you have your wee kind of digs at
How's
me.
about people with mental health stay off the internet? Would that not be a better idea? Because
that would potentially be a good idea, but
it's not a good
again, you
place
can only
for them,
advise somebody or give them a bit of advice. You can't. It's
if I'd have
whatever
been back
somebody
10 years'
chooses to
time
do.
when I was knocking pills down my throat to come into this atmosphere, I'd be a ticking time bomb.
Well, this when YouTube, social media is full of people with mental health issues. You see them everywhere, and you can tell. And that's why I say, what was the saying, Paul, the other day, what we were discussing, that when you make friends on YouTube, you don't know who the hell you're making friends with, and suddenly, woof, like that, they turn around. I had that with that Nick fella. He was all dead nice to me. Then suddenly I realised, my God, this man has got serious issues here. He just turned for no reason at all and went nasty. But you do get it. But when the people go on about no mental health issues, sometimes you think, yeah, they're being genuine. They want to discuss it and they want to get resolution from it. But then you get people and you think they're using it as to cover for the way they've acted. That fella, what's his name? Bob Smith. He's suddenly doing ones about mental health. And he said, look, you were found out sending dirty pictures. That's why you're talking about mental health now. But YouTube is a good thing to discuss mental health, but it's not, and I stress this people again, it's not where you get help for your mental health issues. No. You can't get help online. And years ago, I don't know whether you remember this, Humble. I don't know whether you remember this person, because people like the Mouse were watching them and everyone's, and the Mouse was it's probably yours, isn't it? Yeah. So you might know what I'm talking about. Do you remember that? What was it named? Wiz Productions or something. He used to have people on talking about mental health issues, and he'd be crying along with them and all this. Then all of a sudden he got involved in this satanic stuff and all that, and people turned on him, and he turned round. And he threatened to release all the information people had given him in private. These were people who went to him for help to talk about the mental health issues. And that always stuck in my mind.
Satanic ritual abuse, that's another thing we get bloody landed into. And wow, that's something else. We're dealing with people who's in a really high-end schizophrenic state of mind, and they're getting lied to out here with people who's trying to make an excuse for abuse that's went on to try and tag at a name. Yeah, you've got people that are, I don't want to get into it, Anne, because it just
it's too much. I was going to say that when you get into that, it goes, and a lot of the time it gets into strange areas. We all know about one page. We know one person that Sean Atwood is supporting all the time. Well, actually, two he was that are involved in all this, and it gets messy, it gets horrible. It's very, very dangerous. Yeah. And usually the victims at the end of the day are women who are vulnerable, and they're manipulated into saying things that aren't true. And, but again, that's the way it is. What's this? Oh, yeah, I agree. The Trouser Mouse, I just won't have anything to do with this. I won't have it.
I like Trouser Mouse for the simple reason they looked after Donna and some of the things, because when Donna done a fact-finding hearing from, was it Pizzagate or something, man, the stick that was from a fact-finding hearing that she pushed out, and the stick she got, man, I'm like, well, you asked for facts. Yeah. And then it turned into another conspiracy off the back of it. We just went, well, why did we even look at that?
I think this is the only thing I'll say about Trouser Mouse. Trouser Mouse could have been good. Used to follow me on YouTube with another Scottish woman.
The Scottish woman,
I'll name it because she's not Sparkle. It's not a real name, Sparkle. Now, actually, I regret what happened between me and Sparkle because I think she actually did talk a lot of bleeding sense when I think back. But at the
Was
time, I
Sparkle's a
didn't realise
Scottish
that.
lady?
Yeah, she's
I
gone.
didn't know.
She got driven off social media, and I thought actually she was saying the right thing. She used to hate a certain boy band lead singer, and she said a lot of things. But Trouser Mouth, just when I blocked her, and it was a stupid thing, I shouldn't have done it, but I blocked it because she used the C word. And anyone that knows me, I will not have curse words. And I said to her, don't use curse words at me. I won't have it. And she did again, so I blocked it, and that's where it all went off. But anyway, as long as the little mousy eeky stays in his corner, but he can be pretty vicious and nasty.
When I seen Sharon Gale coming on some nights, and we tried to side up with Sharon as much as, but when we seen her coming on again, drunk, intoxicated, I've done it. I learnt from it. But it was night after night, and I thought she's going to die. She's going to end up dying live on a live here or something, and I just pulled away for that. I didn't want any part of.
Well, you just have. Look, sometimes, this was saying before, sometimes you've got to walk away from people and leave them alone. Look, you're not going to talk sense into someone that's got a serious alcohol addiction or any kind of addiction. You can't, because, and as I say, you have to go away because they'll hit out at people and be very, very nasty. But now, getting on to this situation, so what's going to be, Paula, are you going to say, what do you want to do? Do you want to say you're not going to mention
I'm just going to carry on doing my TikToks.
And you're going to leave or never mention it again? I say, do you know what? You can say this, and it sounds ideal, doesn't it? Oh, we'll never mention each other again. But sometimes something can kick off and you have to mention each other again. But it's the way you do it. It's the way you do it that's all important. If it comes across as being, confrontational, which I can do when I don't like someone, come very confrontational. But that's the difference. Or say it to each other in private.
Remember, so I just need to get this off my chest before I go. So a couple of years ago, Richie Picking was getting used, right? He was getting bullied by DH, and at the time, Anthony Burkett, because Anthony Burkett hadn't fell out with Decker at this point. And he was relentless. I give him that. He got under our skin. But anyway, Richie Picking was coming back to us saying, Ken, they're wanting information out of me. They're wanting information out of me. And they were bullying the guy. And they said, they want a name. And they kept striking Richie's channel. And I said, foolishly, we'll just say it could be Sammy Lee because the voices sound distinctive. But anybody knowing the London voice, that Sammy Lee is not Donna. But
that's what people think in true media.
Unbeknown to me, one who I'm going to say of Sean Atwood's trolls, who challenged us to find who she was, who we found out who she was pretty, actually, it was pretty hard to find out who she was, but we found out who she was anyway. They actually went on to Jeanette Cooper's Snooper Cooper and all that, and said, this where I knew there was information going between Decca but Snooper Cooper, one of Sean Atwood's trolls at the time, went back and told, is it Cooper? I forget her name.
Nikki Cooper.
Nikki Cooper. Wedger's pal. Right? Now, Wedger and them started disliking Decca Heggie back in 2016, long before I ever heard them. If you look back on, if people want to class it as trolling and bullying, you need to go back and ask all these guys questions for 2016. Like the detective, who do you call him, that writes the books? He did dislike from. The artist guy that does it for Dave Courtney, he did dislike to him. There's so much went on before I ever came along. And they wonder I was getting the blame of things because I'm thinking, there's no way I possibly could know all this stuff. But anyway, they went on and told Nikki Cooper that Sammy Lee, and I've got it again, that Sammy Lee was this Mrs. Humble Cow and all the rest of it. So, in a wee bit, I need to take a bit of responsibility. I just needed Richie to stop getting bullied. And I said, well, Sammy Lee was commenting on the unknown justice thing, which was set up to troll us. So I just wanted to put my hands up to that. I'm a wee bit responsible for that, but I just, again, you can't win everything.
When you're talking about Snooper Cooper, right, the child recruiter, which she admitted to, right? You talk about, you can't talk sense. I mean, that's just an idiot. It's a moronic idiot of the, I mean, it just gives, and you know what? I've met in me time sex workers, right? And usually they're very protective towards someone like me, very protective. And drug use, when it was at the probation and at the police, the drug users, the women on the drug use would be so protective. Oh my God. If anyone said, I mean, they'd be, I don't know. I think this, because I treated them like they were noble, valuable human beings. They didn't want the vulnerability to go on. But people like Cooper and all that, who are attacking and all this, look, fluff between the ears.
But did you not feel sorry for Nicky Cooper? I felt sorry for her. She wasn't even good writing and reading and stuff like that. I thought she was just getting used personally, Anne.
No, she's an idiot. And the thing is, it's not down to education, that she's just getting off on the fact that she's got a boy band member think, take notes of it and think she's wonderful, and God help him, because if that's the only group he can get now, that's the biggest. It says a lot about how famous he is.
But listen, that guy was in a really dark place back then as well. He's picked up a bit.
He's horrible. He's horrible. He's a vicious liar.
No, but and his mental state at the time, he thought the mice were wired up.
Yeah, John, I shall tell you how mentally ill he is, and I'll tell you, I remember this saying, right? If you want to find out how mentally ill someone is, shortchange them. Because they'll straight away know that you've shortchanged them. He knows how to screw his benefits. He knows how to screw the system. I can assure you, he's not all that gone. I think, and he knows how to play up and kick off outside the benefits office when it's coming time to have his claim reassessed. So we. Do you not
think there's a certain element of truth of what was happening at BBC but he's got lost in the mist?
Yes.
That's why I'm walking away. I don't want the good stuff being lost in the mists of falling out with Paula, and I don't want it getting lost. And I thought, it's damaged. It's damaged. Sometimes you can't repair things.
In regards to that, is he right about what's going on about the BBC and all this? What you've got to take it is, he never came out with this until very late.
Come on, boy. Sorry, it locks yourself through the room. Sorry, I'm back. Come on.
He only came out with this very late in the day, right? And his story keeps on changing. In other words, there was a red room and he didn't say he could identify anyone he saw in there. And then suddenly it becomes the person who's famous now, who's in prison because of a relationship with a certain man that committed suicide or didn't commit suicide in prison. So it suddenly changes. Now it's become Andrew. And it's like, well, the narrative's changed. In other words, if he thinks he can get attention on himself, but at the end of the day, the whole issue is he didn't get money for his supposed hacking, which it doesn't look like it is hacking that happened. He didn't get money for it. He's well peed because of that. So he's hitting out. But if someone said to him, here's £1 million today, and I said this a few years ago, here's £1 million today for your alleged hacking, he'd be skipping down the road, clicking his heels, and to hell with any kiddies being at the BBC being in danger, to hell with them. And that's the truth. And also, he was caught with the schoolgirl himself when he was still a singer. So, that says it all. But we'll move on from that.
You had to get that button.
We'll get away from that. But anyway, so Paula, you've been very quiet there. What's your what do you want to say now?
Well, I think when it comes to what people need to understand, and that's on everybody's side. Well, it's my personal opinion. I think everybody's had good intentions at the very start, and then we've just got too involved. Everybody's got too involved with drama. hate's been increased, people's health's been at risk, and yet we're all guilty of doing it at some point. If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. Move on. That's how I'm now. That's how I am now. I can't force people to stay in my life, but I'll certainly not beg them to stay.
I mean, it is horrible when you like someone and then suddenly, you know, it all goes, you know, up. But as I've said to you in the past, Paula, you just have to say, well, that's life. That's like, no, we don't come into this world with a contract saying, oh, everything will go right for us, everything will be fine for us. You just, and the worst thing you can do is find friendship on the internet. I think it's foolhardy. You have to find friendships, meaningful friendships in public around you, and so that you can judge the person, you can see the person. Because you see, and I can't get this, say what you think about this, what I'm going to say. You know, you've got anon accounts out there and people are going on, oh, the wonderful, the great, the brilliant. And it's like, you don't even know who they are. They could be anyone or up to anything and have bad intentions, you know. So you just have to do that. Like I get these trolls on here, and all that you do is block them. And that's it, because that's it. They're just, but
see, this is the thing, and I never come on here. I would have preferred to stay anonymous, but I was fed up with people being accused of being me. People were getting their stuff damaged, and I thought, I don't want to be on a platform. I don't want my face out here. I'm quite happy I had to do it because people were getting blamed, people were getting hurt, people were getting accused, and I had to do it. I was always prepared to come out if I had to put that in place. What happens when it goes well? At the end of the day, people know me. No, I don't care. I was always prepared to come out. I'm happy. Just shave the beard off and slip away. People chasing these platforms, i.e. like Hector and that down in London, they're going the wrong way about it, and it's a shame. But
it's all kiss and backside, isn't it, to get clicks, and then it goes. And that's what it is at the end of the day. That's where it goes wrong. But Kelsey's made a point here, and I know she's saying it's a joke. Don't drink and type, people; it will ruin you. Now, what I'm going to say about that, right? Not so much drinking, but I was only saying this the other day to someone, one of my neighbours. I was talking about it, and I said the difference is between nowadays and pre-internet, or pre actually being able to send emails over the internet. You had the only way you could communicate was either pick up a phone, dial a number, wait for the someone to pick up the receiver on the other end before you could rant at them. And also, if you wanted to send a letter to someone, you had to sit down there and write it out. So it gave you this time gap to suddenly reconsider what you were going to say. Now, that's all changed. Within an instant, you can make your thoughts public just by the press of a button. And that's where it's gone awry now. People are speaking the thoughts where if you saw them in public, they'd be completely different. I've said this, I've had people coming out with horrendous hate about me, especially these women that are doing it at the moment. Horrible hate about me. If I met them, I tell you now, if I met them, they'd be like, oh yeah, I think it's terrible. Why shouldn't people be able to live like they try to be the cool birds, you know? Why shouldn't people live the way they want? It's your rights and all this. But online, you see this horrible little clannish thing going up. And this is another thing, avoid clans. Now, you do that, John. You avoid clans, which I respect you for. But at the same time, and this is what I think, that you're going onto sites now where, I don't know, I don't think it's making it better for you.
No, it's not. I want to leave the humble dryer thing itself. If I go into a site to lay my hair down, have a bit of slagging match with somebody where I know it's banter, because we talk behind before we go on. Like Yeti, for example. Yeti is like, I'll speak to him and I say, listen, it's only banter. Yeah, that's people like come on for the after 12 drama. And it's been able to, it's a bit like PD. PD's everything that I wouldn't want to be, but I can sit down and have a conversation with that guy.
Yeah, you can.
You know what I mean? And people can how can you speak to him? Because That's the only way you
No.
move forward with this kind of thing, is speaking to somebody.
What
I
is
think
with
he's a great guy now.
What is
So
with
you're good,
PD?
isn't
To me, what is with PD is that there's two sides. There's the
Yeah,
serious
there
side.
is,
He
yeah.
comes on with me with the
Yeah.
serious side, and the fact that he actually respects my rules on my channel, I think, is very impressive. Very, very impressive. But also, there's another side to him. When he thinks he's got someone, he picks on people that pick on other people. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That I've got that. So he goes after people who do it to others. So he actually calls them out on that. So yeah, I like PD as well. I think he does.
I mean, he's everything. He supports the wrong colour for me. But then he told me he tried to join the British Army. Do you know that? And they found some in his medical and everything. But again, we can sit and talk about. He asked me if I wanted to take part. But see, Bonistan, I was brought up in a house where my grandparents supported Celtic, my father and that supported Rangers. If my gran or that heard the words, these words coming out, they've got good friends over in the Southern Island, and I've never met a proper Irish person who speaks like, and I'm not talking about PD here, I'm talking about somebody else that's probably in this chat, yeah? I'm not even going to give him any recognition because I think he's on the police payroll, personally, and I've got good reason to believe that. But I have said I will report his channel for promoting terrorism, because I'm not having my kids going backwards to where I was when I was 15-year-old, when it was all right for 40,000 football fans to shout all the worst sectarian stuff you could ever hear in your life and then follow onto the street. Now you're not getting in the street because nobody ever really knows. My grandpa would say, nobody ever knows.
You
Half
see,
the people shouting the sectarian stuff haven't got a clue what they're shouting about for a start.
well, they just have to, I say,
and that goes for both sides. My side as well. If it's not just a one-sided thing, I don't think that this stuff needs to be poured out onto our internet, personally.
But what it is, the algorithm, it takes time. I keep on saying this. The algorithm takes people down. People think that channels being taken down. They're not. I tell you now, the algorithm will, and it's just a delight for me to see some people who were saying that because I used the term map. I was actually trying to promote those type of people that now they're not using the word, and when they put the title up, the hashtag, it's like, don't you, your channel's going to come down eventually if you keep on saying these words. But the thing is, it does get horrible, and Mrs. Magpie just said something before about, bullying this and banter. Now, I'm strong on this. A lot of the time, we're roasting and all this. If the person is willing to be roasted, fine.
Willing to be roasted, yeah.
That's it. But if the person isn't, and the most horrendous things being said, but as I say, it only backfires on them, in that shows them up for what they are, which is not very nice people. For the
as you said,
like
if it's banter, they know what's happening. That's fine.
Yeah. But the thing is, it goes one way, John. I get people saying banter, going on banter. I get it from what's his name? Exposure TV, banter. But when I said it back about him, right? Oh my God. Suddenly it wasn't me roasting him. I was just being a horrible, nasty thing. And this is what happens. It's a one way. And Mrs. Magpie is right. That's when it becomes online bullying, when that happens, when it's the one person being signalled out. But what you do, you just have to turn off and ignore it.
And does anybody want to ask me a couple of questions before I go?
Does anyone want to put questions to... actually, there's a few. I'll go back. There's a few for you.
I don't look at the comments.
I can't see the comments.
I don't know why, because I've got it in that you can see them. No way you tick the box. I've got it down there. Let's see, I'm going to see, because someone we're asking intelligent ones, others are just making statements, which is the right, but they're making statements. They've made their mind up. It's not a question who they like and who they don't like, but it's pretty 50-50. So one person's not, though it wasn't a contest, but one person isn't winning in the popularity states. So come on, someone asked a question. I know some of you have.
Apart from the Irishman, I don't want to answer any questions from somebody who steals from his dead friends or anything like that. And I'd rather keep him in the scumvile part of YouTube.
Here's someone. Oh, I'll ask it, but I don't see the point of it. What do you think of TR? Just say TR. I've heard he's a donator to. Hey, I don't work that out. I can't work that out.
What's the opinion of Tommy Robertson is, please? I've heard he's a donator to Tommy's cause.
Oh, that you are.
Right, I donated to Tommy Robertson when he was putting the bus to do the tours. I put a decent amount of money to it actually, because I actually thought what he was doing was good. And then again, it's like, and I've learnt from what he done, he then, because I've not seen him being, and people can shout he's racist and all the rest of it. He might be in his personal life, but I haven't seen him being racist. What I've seen is, yeah. So, in his bus, I put money to his bus a few years ago, and then again, this is why I've learnt from him. In the midst of all the good stuff he done, he went and get his soul. He was told to stay away from the court stairs. I've got a bit of him in me where I'd just be saying, I'm going to the court stairs. Where now I've learnt, he should have stayed off the court stairs, he wouldn't get jail.
But the thing with Tommy Robbins, was it because of all this grooming that you supposed? This is exposing groomers.
Honestly, I'd be lying if I said that.
Because
I started supporting Tommy Robertson over the atmosphere that he could create, which was all the wrong reasons.
But just let's put it this way to people: anyone that's under the illusion that he was exposing grooming, he wasn't. And someone who we don't actually get on, but she'll agree with me on this, is Sammy. Oh, why have I forgotten the surname? Sammy. Oh, I'll remember it later. She said the same. In other words, he didn't. It was outed well before he did. He just jumped on us and made it a racist issue, which, we know it does happen, but let's put this way.
Again, a lot of people were feeding him false information too, deliberately, to try and get him to push it out, and then, look, you've made a mistake as well. It's pretty dreadful being in that status, but it was the atmosphere of Tommy Robertson, if I'm honest, is why I started following him. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, well, that's it.
But I like him. I've not seen him being racist. As in, if he starts
it can be.
The Quran and that, I don't see him being racist there.
No, what he does, there's videos of him where you hear that he's that he's saying things, but at the same time, there's stuff where he's boasting. I found it more actually shocking. The video went up where he was actually boasting about money he was getting and what he was spending it on, expensive watches and stuff like that. That's what shocked me more. But let's see if we can find some more questions. Hey, Rod. And now ask some for Paul as well, because this is all one-sided at the moment. Humblest Mrs. Now, this small statement, but you've got a right to pull them up in this. Humble and his Mrs. try groom vulnerable women. That's why they look for domestic abuse victim survivors.
But again, it's all right. I could say Anne goes on and tries to groom Paula to come on and shout at me. But again, until somebody actually says, there's a person here, a real person, not just some. I could make up 1,000 comments on YouTube, but show me a person. It's like when Anne first came across it, she thought that we'd paid victims. Slowly but surely, through time, it realises, wait a minute, that person there's just made and said he lied. So Richie Picking came up and said he made a lie up that we'd paid Geraldine, sorry for mentioning her name, to make up false allegations. It turned out to be 100% lies. Then it got out a joke that me and Danny had in Anne's page, where Anthony Burkett had said, I put 12 or 13 or 15 grand into Danny Christie's bank. Anne shared this. Remember, Anne? Danny come on and we made a joke about it, as if to say. And people were okay with that. And that's how easy it was to make a joke. I wouldn't. If somebody said, you paid Danny 12 or 15 grand to bring Decca down, 12 or 15 grand in Scotland would get you shot. Work it out.
But
this is rocket science.
I'm just looking for more. It's all the questions. Let's see.
Bradley Walsh, God rest him. It was in Train Spotting and that. 10 grand it cost to get that guy's brains blattered on in a street in Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
£10,000, and that's, you're talking a fairly good celebrity here in Scotland. Had a lot of time, God rest them. Yeah, 10 grand.
So it looks like, well, this is an interesting one. Question: Is Heggie don't say that word if you read out again. Not even better off than 3 years ago. Why not give Heggie evidence over to police?
I'm going to say the police will be sitting with at least 90% of the evidence. Now, they'll be sitting with at least 90%. Obviously, I can't say how I know that, and it's not because I speak to the police, because I've never spoken to the police directly, as in them coming to me in regards to, apart from once, when the Carlisle police drove up here 2 hours, because the Scottish police said that they weren't interested in anybody that done a background check in Decca Heggie or any alleged trolling regarding them. That was the exact words from the Scottish police in Kilmarnock.
Well, do you know, I'll ask this one from Mrs. Magpie in a minute, but what I want to do, someone put something up here. We'll answer this in a minute, though. Someone put this one up. What is it? This is the question. I think it's a good question. Do you think it's about time that, even though you believe that Decca has done the things he's done, we won't stress it or go over it. Do you think you've got to say now, you've got to stand back because it's eating you up and eating Donna up, not him? And so you've got to step back and say, leave it now and let something, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Well, it's like, you've got somebody in your chat just now, right, who's this guy, and he speaks up for people, right? But if you look into the guy, the Irish guy who's in the chat just now, if you look into him and look further into him, you'll notice there's a lot of similar, I'm not saying sexual things, but there's a lot of things where that what he's done, he thinks, I've admitted that I've done that. Yeah.
That's not really answer the question. The question is, are you at the point where you're going to have to move? You're going to have to eventually say,
Decca's finished.
You've got to move away from, because it's just going to eat you up.
Decca's finished.
When you think of all these arguments, John, right? This is the point. Like these arguments that you've had with people falling out, it's all because of this obsession. Same's happens in a lesser degree with Carl McCorner. People have turned because of his total obsession single-mindedly. And what it does, it just absolutely destroys the people that are getting obsessed over it. And sometimes you've got to say,
and see, the more, if I was to come and meet you and give you my box and say, you deal with that, and it would eat you up as well.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, I've known things, don't think I've got no things.
It would eat you up. When you see him playing on mental health and how he uses his mental health,
I know.
And I don't wish that in anybody.
But believe me, I've heard and know of things. I'm going to tell you, done that are worse. I learned things in the police much worse than Decca Heggie could ever get up to, or anyone. And I know damn well that I can go on and so go blue in the face, but it starts destroying me in the end, not there. And you just have to take a backseat. But I'll ask Mrs. Magpie, I'll ask Miss Magpie's question now, and ask him why he said he's going to go on dark leave. What does that mean?
What? Sorry, ask him why he said he was going dark leave. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. YouTube to do more damage, and to who? Oh yeah, you were saying when you were going to come off, but you were going to bring things.
Oh right. So in the background, obviously, if I see, now I'm not just singling out people, right? But if I see anybody promoting terrorism on both sides, like if your channel's set, see my dog again, my channel's set to 18 and plus. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to, and if, let's say that person, it's not because that person's supporting Paula right now. If somebody wants to know what somebody's like, look at their friends. And I would say that person is no good for, because he runs on hate, and he has the fire in his stomach runs on that kind of hate. And I think that's where YouTube's all wrong. I mean, that same guy, this Irish guy's promoted that Sean Atwood has asked him on to talk about the humbles and trolling. That would be Sean Atwood's biggest
Sean wouldn't do that.
mistake.
Look, let's put this
and I can guarantee you that.
Look, let's just put it this way. Sean Atwood, right? I know he can be stupid. I know he can be thick, but he's at the stage now. He's not going to stars. He could do. Nothing's impossible with Sean. You can never predict what he's going to do because he is. There's something there that's not working, and he doesn't see the reality. And I've had this out with him before in the past. Could do. He might not do, but you just. To tell the truth, he's never mentioned you. Has he ever mentioned you in the past? Because unless he sees you as a big threat, he wouldn't do it.
He went and blamed stuff to Darren G on myself and Donna. Yeah. So then I was Daz Cam TV. Sean's gone, I didn't plan that to ever come out. Why not? Because Jen put a picture up of Donna on her Twitter a few months ago. Sean didn't know nothing about it, allegedly.
Oh, look, let's put this way, right? It's no even point going on about Sean.
No.
As he does. He's made a complete fool of himself over Darren G, which he has. And I'll be doing a video about Darren G tomorrow, actually, and uploading this about this situation. But, you just have to let them get on with it and, let them, because he's taking the battering. And
somebody said to me that night there, if you're to pull away, if you're to go and where would it go in an half year? We're still going to be here, and the good stuff it'll get lost in the mist of stuff. It'll just get lost.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be involved in this, but I carry on. I'll be involved in that, but I've not got time for that. I've no interest. And I mean, it's a shame now that we and you're only maybe starting to see eye to eye, but again, We've always seen eye to eye in a few things, but again, that's the way life is, isn't it? You can't...
Well, the thing is, you just have to put it, and this is important because we'll have to start winding this up now.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm just getting my dog out of this room again.
Because Paula, you've been very good, Paula. You've been very good. You've been a good girl, Paula. But anyway, what I want to say is because we'll have to start getting to a solution now. Yeah, you put it in the past. Now, me and you could talk. Me and Donna could talk. We could do. In the future, just have to be careful what we get, because there'll always be, I tell you where there'll always be sparks flying here. And that is where, when you're associating with someone, that's the thing I have to do. When you associate with someone like those horrible...
And then the conspiracy starts, I know.
No, these horrible, nasty... hate speech people who shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't. It's not nice. It's not nice to do things like that. Hate me for who I hate me because of my personality. Don't hate me because I was born. That's not nice. It's not nice at all. But I can't stop them doing that. But yeah, you can move on. But now, finally, Paula, because you've been very, very good. You've said what your situation is. You're ready to move on. That's it. You're not going to get involved. And I'll make sure that if I see any, which I will, if I see any potential that it's going to kick off again, I'll have a word with you, Will, and we'll discuss it.
Put you back in the cage.
Yeah, put you back in your cage and double lock us this time.
Well, I hope Paula's newfound friends, I'll try and entice you to stay out of Paula like we did. We each another would say, listen, you better just, let's see if they try. And that's when they'll show you if they're genuinely out there to try and help you, or genuinely out there to use you to go the drama in the world.
And come on, Paula.
It would take a long time for me to trust somebody again, put it that way. But that's not my fault. I've been a follower, and it's got me into bother. And again, you come on and we all do it, especially me, and it's like, bah, 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 bah. And I'll go to hell for leather. But you don't think of the impact it has on the people in your life at home. And that's what got to that point. I was like, but now I've went on to positive stuff. I help all these people. We've got a team where we just support each other on a daily basis. It's so positive. There's no negative stuff.
For a negative hate, Paul. That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing.
So much.
Well, there's absolutely nothing, and it's amazing.
The best thing is to just move on. I say, maybe at a future date you can start talking, but you'll know then when the cut-off point comes, because you'll see when trouble's coming. I say I'll still communicate with you, John. I will do that. I'll put the past behind me, because it's golden on both sides. I know I was prodding at times, like that, which I can do, and I admit that I do prod people at times, and then you get a reaction from them, don't you? But this is the best way to go forward, and hopefully everyone's working from the same page. I mean, you're hoping to help victims of female victims of abuse, aren't you, Paula?
And males. Yeah, but do you know what? There's a lot, especially like TikTok at the moment. There's a lot of people. They're quite. They've got a bigger figure, and they'll put on like bikinis or swim costumes. Next minute, they're getting slated. So we all just tag each other, and it's like, come on, just join a wee happy bubble. It's all positive, and then we'll do duets with them. Christ, I've even done TikToks without makeup on.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
Good.
I saw that one without the makeup. I'm still in therapy because of it, I'm telling you.
I see you hiding behind a camera, doll.
But just so you know, Paula, Donna has not said anything on the internet. If anything said, it's me that said it. She's not said one word. She stayed off it because she's just, what's the point?
It's done. It's done
and dusted. And what we'll do, so anyway, we'll keep in touch, even though two sides may not be communicating with each other.
Well, Anna, I'll be tying this up anyway.
Yeah.
But again, I'll be keeping an eye on things, obviously. But as I say,
all I'm going to say, John,
the bridge.
I done a live with some survivors the other night with Sammy Lee, and she's putting it out. And there was a bit of conversation about you, like we've been doing in the past. So I'm just letting you. I'm stepping away from it all. But we did do a live.
Sammy Lee wouldn't listen to me 3 years ago when I said I've never been part of Film Fellas. I'm never any part of any
I don't even know who these are. I only know when you have told me.
She thinks I'm pals with Stu Armstrong. I've never met the guy.
With who?
Stu Armstrong. I've never met
him. Don't know who he is. But anyway, so what I'll do is I'll leave with that. Thank you for coming on the two.
Thank you, Anne, for having us on.
And I'm sure we'll discuss other things. So take care, and everyone in there.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Night,
Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.